we're going to learn a little bit about veterinary medicine care. We're going to join Dr. Nikki Wheeler as she removes some proud flesh from a horse's leg. And you'll get a chance to learn what proud flesh really is.
Oh my goodness. My name is Mary Miller Jordan, and this is Flying Colors. We are going to tell y'all a story about myself when I was in first grade and an experience that I had with bullying and kind of the part of it that I experienced myself. So what happened was there was this young girl that was in my class, and we had gotten to be friends. The teacher even had kind of paired us up to do some of our schoolwork together, and she was a sweet little girl, and I enjoyed being around her, and we would sit at the table together, and I would do some stuff with her, and she was struggling with some aspect of her schoolwork, and it was something that I happened to have learned, and so I was able to kind of help her with that, and that felt really good to be able to help. And so I, would help her after I finished up with my work. I would help her. Well, this went on for a little while, and at some point in the school year, I started to kind of notice that, everybody was kind of targeting her for some reason. They weren't really being all that kind to her. And I liked her. We didn't hang out, I guess, outside of class, but she was certainly somebody that I liked. And I didn't like that she was being targeted like that. I didn't like that she was being picked on, and I knew it was wrong. I just knew from the inside of me, I just knew it was wrong. But I didn't know what to do about it. When I was little in school, I was the quiet, sweet person. That's even what people said in my yearbook, quiet and sweet, like didn't rock the boat. So I wasn't picking on her, but I wouldn't do anything to stop it either. I was just kind of being neutral. And I remember one day we were all lined up, in first grade we'd be lined up head to tail, and we're all lined up going out to recess. And there's this glass door with a little doorknob on it that we're getting ready to go through. And this young girl was up at the front of the line, and there's kids between us and then me, and we're all lined up in a row, and everybody's walking through the door, and she pushes the door open to go through it, and touches the doorknob. Well, the next kid says, oh, don't touch that doorknob. It's got cooties on it. It's got cooties, because she touched the doorknob. It's got cooties. And so everybody, all the little kids, make this wide circle around the doorknob. And here, and here I am, and my heart just started to race. I'm approaching the doorknob. And my heart started to race, and I knew, everything inside of me knew this was wrong, this was stupid, this was absolute, it was ignorant. Even in first grade, I knew this was wrong. I really, really did. But I was scared. Everybody else was doing it. And my gosh, they were mean to her. I was scared of them being that mean to me. I was scared of the other little kids. I didn't want to rock the boat. I didn't want to, all of a sudden, well, now I've touched the doorknob, so I'm best friends with this little girl, and so you're going to be mean to me now too. That scared me. It really did. And I can remember getting closer and closer to that door when it was going to be my time to go through, and thinking, I wanted to touch the doorknob so bad. So bad I was shaking. I wanted to touch the doorknob. And I get up there to it, and I tried. I swear I tried so hard, but I couldn't get my arm to move. I could not make myself reach up and touch the doorknob. I absolutely could not. And I walked through the door, and I didn't make a wide circle like everybody else was. I just walked through it. But I remember feeling so disappointed in myself in that moment. It was a life-changing moment for me. So disappointed for, letting my fear take over and not allow me to do what I knew was right. And it just set, I don't know, it set the stage for kind of so many other things I went through in school. And this same young lady, she's grown up into a beautiful young lady. She has a great family, and I kind of, I saw her throughout school. We actually went to the same middle school too. But we weren't close. I mean, I kind of, you know, she was like always the target. She was the one everybody was picking on for whatever reason. She was just the easy target for them, and I just laid low. And I'm ashamed of it. I'm deeply ashamed of it. I mean, I would love to be able to tell this story and be like, yeah, I touched the doorknob. You know, I was brave, but, you know, I was scared. I was scared, and I let my fear take over me. And I think that's what happens to a lot of us. You know, you've got the bully, okay, and the bully is the bully because they're being bullied in some other aspect of their life. They're not the bully because they're happy. They're not the bully because they're cool. They're not the bully because they're confident or anything else. They're the bully because they're scared, and they have found that if they're mean to somebody else, they can drop that person low enough to make them feel just a wee little bit better, okay? And so then they become dependent on that, and they have to continue to beat everybody else down to continue to feel okay with their self, because they can't make their self rise to feel any better on their own because of whatever is going on with them in their life. So, you know, the bully has issues. Then you've got the person that's being picked on, and you know, who knows what they have going on in their personal life, but they're certainly, you know, developing a lot of things to work through from the things the bully are doing to them. But then you got all these people in between, and all these people in the between are like a bunch of blind sheep, and I was one of the blind sheep, I mean big time. And those blind sheep have a tendency, okay, well, what are we gonna do, all the little group of sheep? Are we gonna go with the one that's getting beat up and picked on and ridiculed? Or are we gonna go with the big old strong, you know, dude over here that's beating up everybody? Well, okay, if those are our two options, the little blind sheep usually go over with the strong guy. It doesn't mean that the little blind sheep believe in the strong guy, in the bully. The bully is not strong. That's not even a good way to pull it. He pretends to be strong. The sheep don't go to the bully because they believe in what the bully's doing or believe it's right. They pair with the bully because they're just scared not to. They're scared of getting picked on. So I think the important thing is the only way that cycle is going to change, the only way, is if the sheep change. Because if you take the sheep away from the bully has no power.
Stay tuned. Modern Horseman TV will be right back.
People from around the Triangle come to Carolina Barbecue of Garner off Highway 70 because they know what they'll get. Authentic Eastern North Carolina chopped barbecue, Southern fried chicken, hush puppies, Brunswick stew, and more. But did you know that they'll come to you? For your next backyard party, company event, graduation party, weddings, rehearsals, or any other occasion, you bring the people, and Carolina Barbecue of Garner will bring the pig. Call 773-0222.
Follow me to Carolina Barbecue.
The only it's like you've got this seesaw. Is that what it's called? Where you got a little thing in the middle, and you got the bully on one end and you got the sheep on the other. And you know, the only way that the bully, okay, can be up here high, up here on the high end, like the seesaw high, is if there's a whole bunch of sheep here on this end, you know, pushing down this side to keep him up there, okay? So you got all these sheep down here and they're weighing down this side of the seesaw, and you got the bully up here thinking, oh yeah, I'm the man, you know, I'm up here up high. What happens if the sheep get off? Boom. You know, the bully's done for. The bully don't have anything to stand on their own. They are totally dependent on the sheep. And, you know, me being a sheep, a former converted sheep, because now as I've gotten a little older, I've started to be able to voice my thoughts on things. Even when, you know, maybe I feel maybe they're not the thing everybody wants to hear. Maybe somebody's getting picked on, you know, even now. I mean, it happens now. It happens in so many different circles, and anytime somebody's a little bit different, there's a tendency for the masses, for the sheep, to think there's something wrong with them. And the fact is, we're supposed to be different. That's the whole point. I mean, what in the world fun would it be if we were all out here and we all looked the same? You know, if this dog looked like this dog, and if there was nothing but a bunch of black dogs everywhere, nothing but a bunch of brindle dogs, or not, you know, if we all looked the same, it would be boring as all get out. And if we all had the same thoughts and desires, it would be just disastrous, because the world would not go round. If we all wanted the same thing, the world would absolutely not be successful. So we are supposed to be different. We're supposed to have different desires. We're supposed to have different beliefs. We are a world that is built on our differences. And, you know, if we're going to waste our life away running around like a little sheep, we're never going to leave our imprint on the world. All we're going to do is give power to this bully that is doing things that they don't need to be doing to begin with, that they don't even have the power to do because we're giving them the power to do it. So, you know, you can't sit there and you can't say, well, you know, I didn't say that hateful thing, you know, to that girl, so it wasn't my fault. You know, I was being nice. But, you know, if you don't do anything to step up and stop, if you walk past that doorknob and don't ever touch the doorknob, you really are as much to fault as the bully is. And I was, and I'll live with that regret for the rest of my life. And I'll spend the rest of my life trying to make up for it by standing up for people that I think deserve to be stood up for. So just don't make the mistake. Touch the doorknob. Touch every doorknob you see, and don't let anybody tell you not to. You know, don't be a sheep. Good. If we need our little fabric or not, so it won't hurt. Over, 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 over. Good. There we go. Good girl. Good. Good girl. Good girl. Good. Good girl. Give me a lick. Good. Good girl. Okay. Good. Good girl. That's our new trick. And this is Flying Colors. She's one of our really special Mustangs. And I just wanted to tell y'all a little bit about kind of how I have found my confidence over the years. When I was little, when I was in preschool, as a matter of fact, I was very, very shy with the other kids. I never felt like I fit in. I never felt like anybody kind of understood me. And they probably didn't, I don't know. And I always, in preschool, I would actually hide underneath the table, like we were just hiding underneath the fabric. And I would sit underneath the little table at preschool, and I would just make up my own little world. And when I was and my teacher was so sweet. She pretty much would let me. I mean, I wasn't getting into trouble. I wasn't bothering anybody. So she would just kind of let me sit under the table, and I would, you know, make up all these stories, and they would involve horses, and we would be doing amazing things together. And I can just remember feeling so incredibly at peace and confident in myself when I was living out these made up stories in my mind. And so, you know, I go on through the years of school, and kindergarten and elementary school and middle school, and somewhere along the way I figure out that you really can't continue to hide under the table anymore. Like, there comes a point where, you know, the teacher says you need to sit at the table, and you know, so I went with the flow and did what I was told. But I can just remember feeling so insecure feeling so exposed, you know, if I wasn't kind of hidden, just being out there and just feeling like the world didn't get me, and I just didn't ever, I just never felt like anyone really was like me at school. So seeing as I could no longer hide under the table, in middle school, I went through this little stage where I thought, okay, well, you know, I see these other kids and I don't really relate to them. I don't feel like they understand me. I don't really want to be like them, but they really seem to have it all figured out. They seem happy. They seem, you know, they seem like they're enjoying life. They're smiling. They're pretty. They got all the clothes, you know, that everybody seems to follow them around. And this is like the in crowd, okay, which I was not the in crowd. I was just kind of the little quiet one in the corner. So I thought, okay, well, maybe that's what I need to do to feel good about myself, to feel confident. Maybe if I could figure out how to be like that, I would finally figure out how to be confident. So I decided, okay, well, so how do I be like that? So I thought, well, the clothes, they all have the same clothes. So I'm gonna get some clothes like that. So at the time, it was Umbros for some reason. So I go to the mall, my mom and I go to the mall and we look for some Umbros, and lo and behold, we find a sale rack of Umbros. We get these Umbro shorts and this little t-shirt that says Umbros and all this kind of, so I got my new little outfit. So I go to school with my little outfit on. I'm ready, you know, I'm gonna feel good now. And I go to school and I remember walking up there I was excited, you know, because I was doing something new. I was making a change, but I really felt weird. I mean, to be honest, I felt naked. I mean, the Umbros literally, like not figuratively, literally I felt naked. I did not feel like I had pants on because they were like, so I'm used to wearing jeans and the Umbros are all loose, and it felt weird. So I'm walking around school feeling like I don't have any pants on, and I'm just waiting, you know, somebody notice, you know, somebody say that you like my Umbros, somebody say something, and I'm going through still feeling kind of invisible, and all of a sudden somebody passes me and says, oh, I like your Umbros, you know. It's like, oh, I did it, you know, I'm all excited, you know, and I get this rush, like, oh, that was so good, I'm there, you know, and then I go on, you know, and like 10 minutes pass, and that little rush passes, and then now I'm like waiting. Okay, I need somebody else to tell me. Somebody else tell me I look good. Somebody else tell me that, you know, I've got the Umbros on. I'm looking good. I'm popular. You know, so I was so desperate for somebody else to continue to tell me that I look good to feel good. And so I go on a couple days like this trying to do this Umbro thing. And the other thing that I kind of figured out is you can only wear the same outfit so many times, and then it doesn't really work anymore. So I run out of Umbros outfits, and I get to the point, I'm like, all right, I feel naked. You know, I've had like 2 people tell me that they think I look good, and that felt good, but then it passed, and nobody else seems to really care. And I'm really still in the same situation I was before, but now I feel like I don't have any pants on. So I'm gonna go back home, and I'm gonna chunk the Umbros, and I'm gonna go back to wearing jeans. So I put my jeans back on, go back to school, go back to being a little quiet in the corner Mary, and you know, I don't know, a few months later, I think this was sometime middle school, 7th grade or so. Okay, so a few months later, I'm walking in the hall, and I pass like the most popular girl in school. And I was always, she's a very sweet girl. She wasn't mean, but I just was always so almost afraid of her because I was intimidated by her perfection. I mean, she had her hair in this little bun, and all the little strands of hair would be like in a perfect little row with each other. Like there was no little frizzy part. I could never figure out how this girl did her hair. And she had the perfect clothes and all this kind of stuff. So anyway, so I see her coming down the hall, and we get ready to pass each other, and it was like I could feel, it was like my fear just built and built as she got closer, and I just got more and more and more self-conscious, and just felt like this little tiny little thing, and she comes up to pass me, and I don't know, I mean, it was wild. I don't know exactly where this came from. I mean, the Holy Spirit's all I can say, but I just all of a sudden had this idea. And I had this idea, and the idea was, why don't you imagine yourself sitting on a horse and just sit on that horse? And so I thought, okay, that sounds pretty good. So I imagined myself sitting on a horse as we were walking down the hall, and this little girl with the perfect little bun, you know, comes walking by me. And it was wild. I mean, I felt myself just swell. From the inside out, my confidence just magnified. And I mean, it just filled up all the space around us. It didn't change her. It didn't change the little girl with the perfect bun. But it totally changed my perception of everything. And I felt alive. I felt like, wow, this is me. This is me. And your perfect hair doesn't have a daggum thing to do with me. And it was surreal and awesome, and just one of those moments that I will always remember. The only real confidence comes from the inside of you out rather than the outside of you in. And that kind of confidence nobody can touch, nobody. So, you know, for me, it's always been about the horse giving me that. But you know, it's different things with different people. And, you know, I didn't grow up having a horse in my backyard all the time. I didn't. I've always been blessed to have family with horses, but this wasn't like, you know, I was this kid that just always had a horse that you know, that I could ride and rode to school and stuff. I just dreamed about them. They were in my heart, they were in my mind, and because of that, they became a part of who I was. But I mean, this is a reality that has happened because of all those dreams. You know, now I do get to live surrounded by horses and all these animals and all these beings that I just adore. But that, it's not like I had that and then became confident. This came from me just wanting to be me and just letting myself be me. So just please, you know, I just want kids to really take the time that it takes to find out what it is that makes you feel like you, and recognize that that's a powerful thing, and give it the time. You know, take time by yourself. That time when I was sitting under that table in preschool, I guarantee you that was some of the most valuable time in my life to develop who I am inside right now. I was hardwiring my subconscious to do and say things that I don't even know it's saying now, you know, things to me all the time. So, you know, you got to give yourself time to discover who you are. And you can't discover who you are when you're following somebody else around trying to be what they are. I mean, nobody can. Nobody can. So you got to just think about what it is that makes you happy and do it and believe in it. And if you can't actually do it, dream about it. Dream about it for long enough, you'll be able to do it eventually, no doubt.
Stay tuned. Modern Horseman TV will be right back. Are you ready for that awesome outdoor experience? An outdoor living space that can be enjoyed by all? Let the expertise of award-winning Bell Guard authorized contractor Harper Landscaping, serving eastern and central North Carolina, design and install that perfect space. A place to let the family enjoy and relax, a divine intervention to outdoor living. Whether it be a cookout with friends and family or an after-school hangout, Harper Landscaping can help you create that perfect space for many moments to cherish.
Jump for the children at the Duke Classic this weekend, and we're about to start the stick horse race. With me is Jane Murray, and she helps organize this event. Can you tell me a little bit about what this event is and what the stick horse race means?
Well, it's family night at Duke, and this we've always had something for the children, decorating horseshoes or whatever, and we decided to come up with this idea of having this stick horse decorating so we could take it in the indoor and have fun with them. So this year we actually made the stick horses and had them decorated, and someone else came in and did some other fun things with the kids. And the hope is to eventually use the stick horses as a fundraiser in honor or memory of a Duke child or some loved one.
Right. And how many kids participate in this every year?
I would say somewhere 40 to 60.
Okay.
So there's a big crowd of them in there.
It looks like it.
Yes.
They're all so excited. Their faces are so cute.
They might have to ride double.
That'll be good. And when they do the stick horse race, what do they win?
They will get a blue ribbon and a prize from Joan Petty.
Oh, cool. So it's really
yes.
like a real race where
yes.
they place
and they wear a back number, so it's like a real horse show.
So it kind of lets the little kids that aren't old enough to show and be regular participants have a part in the whole thing.
That's right, and have a good time.
With me now are Rosie, Jane, and Eleanor, and they're the three women that put this pony race together.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, we appreciate it. Rosie, can you tell us a little bit about the event and how you were entertaining the kids?
The stick horse competition has been long-standing in the Duke Children's Classic. I think my mother and Jane Murray here were the creators of this event to give the kids, who are also our future competitors, part of the action. We want them to be Duke Children's Horse Show participants for life.
Very good.
So we have stick horses. Jane, tell us about your stick horses.
Handcrafted. Yes, handcrafted. Thanks to some artists upstairs, Teresa and Stephen. And so we've made a permanent set for Duke to use every year.
We hope that this permanent set continues to rotate throughout multiple children's hands and enrich many kids' lives in honor of Duke Children's Hospital.
And in the future, you may be able to sponsor one of these ponies in memory of a loved one or somebody that you want to show memoriam to. So for more information for that, you can go to the jumpforthechildren.org website.
My name is Scott Brookins, and I am the owner of Brookins Construction and MD Barnmaster of the Carolinas. At MD Barnmaster, we have the best warranty in the business. We have a variety of designs to choose from. Our barns are easily customizable to meet your needs. We have financing available to those who qualify. Our barns are fire resistant and they hold their value with little maintenance. Let us build your dream barn for you today.